Well, I've been wanting to make a video for a long time about this, and I just keep putting it off, keep forgetting. But I was just wanted to talk about a portal, like portals, and what portals are. And I had a this sort of realization about when you do, a, just like with the heartfulness system or any heart-based system, you're actually opening the portal. Your heart is a portal to higher dimensions, God, whatever you want to call it, source. And when you have that intention of uh, remembrance, when you think about the divine in whatever capacity you can think about the divine, it opens up an energy portal. So it actually creates a connection, and um, that's something that I think it sounds real esoteric, but it's actually a real thing. And when we start doing our practices, you can feel if the practice is doing anything. You can feel that connection. You can feel that energy exchange. There's some kind of energy exchange there, and it might be you might feel clarity, or you might feel sleepy, you might feel dreamy, you might feel energized, but there's some kind of energy exchange transferring there. And depending on your state of your physiology and your mental, physical state, and how clarified you become is going to be the quality of your experience. So somebody who's at a very low level of energy, and they get exposed to this godly energy, this godly source energy, it could actually be quite uncomfortable. And so that's why God doesn't work like that. God works at a very subtle, very cleansing, subtle, healing, regenerative way. And God builds you up before God puts that energy in, so that you don't get injured and have problems and have mental illness and physical illness and things like that. So I just thought it was an interesting way to look at portals. Um, you know, Praying, becoming prayerful is a portal. Like I said, I think one of the higher levels of it right now for me is just having remembrance. So I'm not asking God for anything. I'm just thinking about God. It's kind of like you're thinking about your beloved, and you know that putting that intention out, it creates a vacuum, and that vacuum attracts this godly energy to you. It's not something you can force. It's something that you actually receive by undoing, by totally relaxing, totally letting go, and just having that mindfulness, that awareness of that godly source energy. That whatever that means to you, everybody's got different conceptualization. I mean, that's why they talk about having a guru or a master. It's not because that's the person that's telling you what to do. It's because that's the like the window to the divine. That master becomes like a window, and they're shining that divine light, divine energy through them. And at first we might get confused and think, oh, they're divine, and they're godly, and I'm not, and all these things. But in reality, all they're doing is just transmitting this godly energy, transmitting. There's not any judgment there. It's just they're giving you what you can receive. And because at a higher level of consciousness, these beings, these entities, these helpers, they're able to adjust that flow just right, so you get just exactly the right amount, not too much to where you get hurt. And I think that's important that people understand that it's not a power thing. It's the opposite of that. It's a flow. It's a controlled, steady, loving flow of love. It's complete support. And I imagine like with my kids, I try to become that. More. I've tried to become more supportive. Actually, it's amazing since I've started doing the heartfulness and stuff how much I've changed. And but I feel like I'm a support team for my kids now. And I used to feel like a lot more feelings of selfishness and um, self judgment and self inadequacies. Really, I felt inadequate to the job a lot of times, because of my own immaturity and my own impatience and my own, misgivings. But as I've learned to like relax and let go and relax and let go, and my disposition's changed so much that I just feel like I said, I can be much more supportive. Now, granted, they're older and things like that, but when kids get older, they're a different challenge also, right? So when you have teenagers and things, it's different. So it's more of a challenge in some ways, maybe not physically as taxing, but it is mentally and emotionally more. And I've been able to be more mentally and emotional stable and be there as a support. And it shows love in a way that I wouldn't have really thought. It's when you're dealing with teenagers or stuff, you can't go up and give them a hug. That's not how it works. And they'll give you a hug if they want to give you a hug, but if they don't want one, stay away and give them their space. But you can do loving things for them, and they recognize it, and they'll be like, oh wow, Dad really loves me and he's really supporting me, and that's kind of like a portal in itself, right? So it's like a relationship portal. You're doing service, you're having that intention of supporting, and it creates a portal. And we can do this with our coworkers, we could do this with our spouses, just the same way we would have the intention of focusing on God and focusing on source and putting our intention on source and creating a portal in that way. I guess you could look at it like you're creating portals in all different kinds of ways, and that's a real blessing. It's a really great blessing, because that's the way your life's supposed to be lived. Real connection. You're creating real connection because that godly energy starts to surface and take hold. Okay, my battery's running out. Y'all have a good day.